Okay, so in this video, I am going to quickly show you how to identify the greatest common factor and then also divide it out. We're going to do two different examples. So our first one, we had the expression 6x cubed y plus 18x squared y squared minus 21x squared y. Remember, our first step is to start with all of those coefficients. So what we're going to do, we have that handy dandy Desmos trick. So we're going to type GCD, and in parentheses, we type exactly what we see our coefficients, right? I don't want any variables in here. I just want our coefficients. Or if you happen to have a constant, that's cool too. That also works. All right, so it tells us that our GCF is 3. All right, so first up is we are just starting with our whole numbers, okay? Now we need to look at our variables and we want to see, all right, is there an x in every single term? Yes, there is. And we look for the smallest exponent. The smallest exponent on those is a 2. Okay. Now we go to our y's. We look, is there a y in all of them? Yes, there is. That smallest exponent is a 1. Okay, so we identified our GCF. Our next step is we need to divide our GCF. So we have 6x cubed y plus 18x squared y minus 21x squared y. And then we divide every single term by our greatest common factor that we just found. Okay, so 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. X cubed divided by x squared, we are subtracting our exponents, so that leaves us with an x to the first. Y to the first over y to the first. You could go through the whole process. We know this gives us y to the 1 minus 1, which gives us y to the 0, which equals 1, okay? Or, since it's the exact same exponent top and bottom, just cross it off and we know that it leaves us with a 1, okay? 18 divided by 3 gives us 6. X squared up top, x squared on the bottom. Cancels. Same thing with our y's. They're going to cancel. Now our next term, negative 21 divided by 3, gives us a negative 7. And again, oops, hold on. I forgot. Okay, I did make a mistake. This should have been a squared. I knew I felt like I was missing something. That's a y squared. So we're actually left with a 1y right there. My bad. Right, because right here we do y2 minus 1, which leaves us at y to the first, okay? I misread our original question. All right, but negative 21 divided by 3 gives us a negative 7. X is up top, and the y's are going to cancel, okay? So remember, when we write our final answer, we put what's our remainder right after we divide out in one set of parentheses, and in the other, our GCF, right? What we just divided out. These are the two factors for this example. All right, let's do one more. Okay, we are identifying our GCF. These are some big numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and definitely do this in Desmos. Okay, so we have negative 72, 24, and a positive 48. Right, that tells us our greatest common factor between all those coefficients is 24. But since our leading term is negative, this GCF better be negative, okay? It'll be so much more helpful when we get to dividing, okay? And now we look. Is there an x in every single term? Yes, there is. Our smallest exponent is a 1. Is there a y in every single term? Yes, there is, and the smallest exponent on those y's is also 1. All right, now we go to divide, so we bring down our original expression. Okay, this time I'll make sure I copy it down completely correctly. That was my B on that one. All right, double check. Yep, that looks good. And now we divide out our GCF. Don't forget that negative sign along the way. All right, so I'm actually a little differently this time. Gonna just put my GCF out front, I know, and then fill in the parentheses as we go. All All right, negative 72 divided by a negative 24 gives me a positive 3. Remember, we subtract these exponents. 2 minus 1 leaves us with an x to the first. Y to the first up top, y to the first on the bottom. That cancels. Okay, our next one, positive 24 divided by negative 24 leaves us a negative 1. X up top, x on the bottom, cancels. Same thing with our y's. All right, last set of parentheses, positive 48 divided by a negative 24 is a positive 2. X to the first up top, x to the first on the bottom, that cancels. And then we have our y to the second and y to the first. We subtract those exponents, and that leaves us with a y to the first. All right, this is what we're working with. This is how we would factor out the GCF from that expression.